Good afternoon, Al.
Hi, Kount. Good afternoon.
How are things at your end?
Hectic and good in a good way.
I saw you had woken up pretty early today morning to send out the updates for
Yeah,
today's game to the
mm.
subscribers on preseason. So
Yeah. We
how's
are
that
sending
going?
out our packs at four a.m. and 5 a.m. etc. When we spoke yesterday, it was 200 subscribers. Now we have 230. I mean, it's like a 30% increment.
Yeah, I think by the end of BBL, it's just going to blow up. So I can already see
Mm.
that trend happening for you. A lot of good quality work and also the feedback you've been getting for
Yeah,
the work
yeah,
that's been sent out so far.
mm.
Just tell our
Yeah.
audience about that.
It's one thing to get from rookie players and those who are trying to get in, but the kind of feedbacks that we have been getting in from pro players, pro fantasy gamers who are, I mean, Piyush Sharma, he's the all-time great of the format of the daily fantasy format. If he says this is the best thing that you have seen, then what else do you need? I mean, if there is a set of feedbacks that I have that I plan to print on my door at some point in the future, and that's Piyush Sharma's is one of them that will be going there.
I think maybe for the next show, we should create a collage of all the feedback we've been getting and
Yeah.
put it up for our audience to see.
Yeah, we did it
Yeah,
last month once, but yeah, we should do it again, I guess.
yeah. And to be quite honest, this is the 12th season of BBL, and I don't
Hmm.
think I've even followed one single game so far.
I'm not
I'm
surprised.
the
Yeah.
other end of pro, so I'm
Hmm.
amateur.
Hmm.
I was thinking that today of an analogy that
Yeah.
I'm the Dhritarashtra when you are the Vidur. You're the
Yeah.
eyes for
Yeah.
me to plying my trade in fantasy and betting.
Hmm.
Baby steps, and I'm ever grateful to you for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we have quite a few things to cover today. So let's
We do.
dive
Yeah.
in. So let me open the match analysis sheet of Sydney Thunders and Melbourne
Hmm.
Stars.
Hmm.
Just bringing up my screen in 1 second. Here we are. Hopefully my screen is visible at your end.
Hmm. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So the game is going to be played at Manuka Oval, Canberra. So tell us a little bit about the venue.
Canberra Manuka Oval is one of the highest scoring venues in the world. It's not just in Australia. It's in the entire cricketing world. It's where batters score a lot of runs. You'll get a lot of fours. You'll get a lot of sixes. This is something we have covered in our tournament docs. This is a brief of that where we have given all of it. If you see, its average first innings scores, reliable rank is one. Reliable rank. What we mean by reliable rank is that we only take into consideration venues that have where at least 10 matches have been played. There are a few BBL venues where only 2 to 3 matches have been played, and when you let those stats infiltrate these things, you'll get a wrong impression of what's actually happening. We have eliminated all of those, and we have given it a reliable rank. And even in that reliable rank, Manuka all ranks first in pretty much everything. It's where you see a lot of sixes. It's where you see most number of runs scored, and it's where we see the second most number of fours hit as well. And there is no
Yeah, that's a
bias for
very
bat.
interesting.
Yeah, there is
Yeah,
no bias for batting first and batting second. It's 50% rate. 50% of teams batting first have won, and 50% of teams batting second have won.
yeah, it's very interesting because it's the first time ever I'm looking at the venue details for Manuka Oval. 36 boundaries, almost 37 boundaries,
Hmm.
almost a boundary every over. I mean, a four or a six every over. So,
Yeah.
is there any other venue that comes this close to the number of fours and sixes combined scored in a game?
Adelaide will be there. The entire list is in our tournament packs. Adelaide will be there. Hobart will be there. So these are the couple of venues that are on top of off the top of my head. Even Perth, although we didn't see it in the World Cup because of the early season conditions, even Optus is a venue where you'll normally see a lot of runs, fours and sixes.
Yeah, probably we need to add Chattaguram to the list. Number of
Yeah, yeah.
sixes that
Mm.
Ishan hit. So they're going to play the test match there. It's going to be very interesting to see if India can also play baseball.
Yeah, yeah. I think there are going to be a lot of runs scored. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a run feast. Exciting. So leg spin. So Adam Zampa comes into play. He's going to be captaining Melbourne Stars. So let's get into the Melbourne Stars sheet right away.
Mm,
So Adam Zampa is the captain,
mm,
but we did talk about when he will bring himself on,
mm,
during the 20 overs,
mm,
because we do have, I'm going to just jump into the matchups just for a
mm,
quick second. So you have Alex Hales who's out of form.
mm.
You have Matthew who's got
Red
weakness
against.
against spin bowling. So does
Mm,
Daniel Samson when cutting.
mm, mm.
So it's going to be very crucial, how deep Riley Russell and Jason Sangha are going to bat.
Exactly. On a wicket like that, on a wicket like this one, Riley Russell and Alex Ross can take Zampa down. So it's also key for Melbourne Stars in a way that they should either use him at the top three or at the last, at number 6 and 7, because Sams and Cutting are amongst the most destructive hitters in Big Bash. You do not want to feed them full length or pace. At least against Sams, you could use pace and bounce to counter. But Cutting is one of the best players of pace bowling in the world. So what I would do if I were Melbourne Stars is that reserve at least 2 overs of Zampa for Sams and Cutting at the death around 16 to 19.
Yeah, and with short square boundaries, Adam Zampa cannot even drop anything short. With these
Hmm.
batsmen would kind of hit him on the square boundaries for a six.
Yeah.
So you need to bowl a lot more fuller.
Hmm.
And does Manuka Oval assist any turn at all?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's one of the venues in the world where there is no green for any bowler except any bowling type, except for the ones who are bowling second. I mean, in the second innings, new ball bowlers will get a lot of help. That's the only period where bowlers will be in the game a lot more than batsmen. Otherwise, it's mainly batters dominating the game.
So if Melbourne Stars wins the toss, you think they
Hmm.
would put Sydney Thunders into bat?
Yes, and use Bolt to destroy their top order in the second innings.
Yeah. So with Alex Hales in such bad form,
Hmm.
he can make early inroads, and that can kind of put pressure on their middle order.
Hmm.
And if they can be gotten rid of by the 12th, 14th over, then
Yeah.
Zampa could come in
Hmm.
and bowl the 14, 16, 18, and 20.
Hmm.
That's an option. So
Hmm.
let's go slightly more deeper. We spoke about Adam Zampa.
Hmm.
Let's go into the match notes, the creators notes for the Melbourne Stars.
Hmm.
So could you talk to us a little bit more about Bew Webster? So he has got really good numbers against pace.
Yeah.
So how does he come into play? Which bowlers would he be targeting?
Stars usually have an opening combination of Joe Clark and Marcus Stoinis, but with Stoinis, he has gone down the order at Australia, where he has been successful and he has been a revelation. In fact, he has succeeded at the international. So, from the information that we are receiving and from the practice matches they are playing, what we can understand is that Stars are trying to replicate Australia's strategy of using Stoinis down the order. So who opens with Joe Clark? That's the biggest question today. And there are no answers because Burns didn't play one of those practice matches. And it was Tom Rogers who partnered Joe Clark. But Tom Rogers is a rookie. He has only played one match. And it will be surprising if he comes into the 11 in place of Burns or Bew Webster. On the other hand, if you take all those numbers into account, you will notice that Webster is an exceptional player of pace bowling. He's one of Australia's best, but his struggle lies against spin bowling. So when you try him in the middle order, the chance of him coming out on the right side is not high. So Melbourne Stars might be looking at it as an option to promote Bew Webster at the top and open with Joe Clark. So that's what we are predicting here. Although it's something that I understand, it's not something that you can waste a lot of time on because there are equally good options. Burns could try and Nick Larkin could try too. So that's what we have described here. And and the thing is that yeah, why we have predicted Webster playing at the top is that Sydney Thunder do not have an away spin option. The Tanveer Sangha is injured. They're a promising leg spinner. The only spin option they have top frontline spin option they have is Chris Green, who turns the ball into right-handers. So that is something Webster could use. Melbourne Stars could exploit and promote Webster up the order.
Yeah, and also Webster's spin bowling capabilities in the absence of Maxwell will come in handy. Especially there are two
Yes, yeah,
left-handers at the top four, so that
mm,
Adam Zampa doesn't
yeah,
have to expose himself.
true. He could bowl a couple of cheap overs at Riley Russell and the other left-hander Matthew Gilks in the top order.
Yeah,
This is also why
Stein
we
is.
have included him.
Go ahead.
This is also why we have included him as one of our two big differentials for the day, along with Jason Sangha.
Yeah, and if they have their opening batting sorted out between Joe Clark and Hugh Webster, and if Steiner continues his World Cup form, he scored a 16 ball 50. It could be fireworks today in Manuka Oval for sure. So let's get into the greater notes for Sydney Thunders. So Alex Hales did not have a good Abu Dhabi T10,
Yeah, T10. All the
and he's
conditions are
coming
different.
straight.
Usually when
Mhm.
you see a run like this, it takes at least a couple of matches for batters to come back to form. Even though the conditions have got better in Australia, will be getting better in Australia, and especially if we bat second and faces Bolt, for example. So it's not looking good for Alex Hales today.
Yeah. Uh, so we did talk about there are a couple of good leg spin batters. Zampa needs to take into account when he brings himself on.
Mm,
We discussed that already.
mm.
How is Nathan Coulter-Nile? Is he in form? Is he injury free? What kind of an impact would he be able to bring in today's game?
We talked about this yesterday as well because Nathan Coltrane, you never know because he's hardly on the field. But we're not expecting him to be great today, but he could be steady because after all, there is a class of the bowler that we need to consider. He could be steady, but for him to be at his best, we need to go deeper into a season. And we think the best chance that Stars have against Thunder's destructive middle order batter Riley Rossov is Brody Couch. His pace and bounce is something Riley Rossov has struggled against all through his career. So this is something Stars could use Brody Couch as an enforcer in the middle over and delay Zampa for the death. Get Riley Rossov out and then bring Zampa in.
Yeah. So with all this information, let's look at your fantasy recommendations.
Mm,
Uh, no surprise out there. The best bowling
mm.
option is Adam Zampa. I'm rooting for him to get a three for because I picked him on the
We have our
the
own thing
top.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about Webster being a differential
Mm,
with both his batting and bowling capabilities.
mm.
So talk about captaincy options. I don't see Stoinis bowling more than a couple of overs, and then you've suggested Daniel Sams. So
Yep.
talk to us a little bit more about both Marcus Stoinis and Daniel Sams as captaincy options.
Yeah, right. I don't see Marcus Stoinis bowling a lot as well because Melbourne Stars have five-man specialist bowling unit and also Buet to go along with it. Daniels, and the reason that we have still gone for Marcus Stoinis because it's like one of those games where all he needs is 20 balls and Stars will not necessarily have him at five. For example, if the top three play well, they could still promote him and bring him out at the eighth or ninth over. And there is no one in the opposition who can stop Stoinis. So if he gets even 20 balls to play, we could see total destruction today. So that's something we do not want to miss out on Stoinis. And the other thing is Daniel Sams. With Daniel Sams, the all-round option is something that's always lucrative. When you look at it, he's also the team's death bowler. He plays above cutting. This is something we discussed in our tournament doc because Thunder see him as a better option against spin and against full length pace at the death. If they cutting is someone who is who is there in Thunder to take on pace, raw pace and bounce at the death. So Sams could also be floated up the order. So these are the reasons why we have these two as the top captaincy options.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, if if Melbourne Stars, bowl second,
Mm.
Trent Bolt has a chance of picking a couple of wickets in
Yeah,
his opening spell itself to make
this
him
is
a
a
differential option.
This is the pitch factor that we are taking into account, because the best period for a bowler to bowl in this venue is the second innings new ball, with the new ball. So if Melbourne Stars bowl second and Trent Bolt is taking the new ball, that's something I'd be really excited to look forward to. So it's a differential that people can use in mega leagues over someone like Stoinis or Sams.
Yeah. How about Joe Clark? That's another option you've given under differential captaincy
Yeah,
option.
Joe Clark is a keeper batsman for Melbourne Stars, and he opens the innings as well. The problem with Joe Clark has always been that he's too attacking, in the sense that he could aim to take you down for 20 runs in the first over. So that's something that we cannot always have as a reliable captaincy option. But if he comes good, then that's a game changer. And if you could see, there are only 5% of them who have captained him today. So this is a great differential that people should definitely use in their mega leagues today.
Yeah, what you said about Joe Clark reminds me of Kaluvitarna. So it could be, one on his given day, you could be 50 runs in 22 balls, or you could be getting out very, very early. So, so with that, why don't we go and pick the players on FanX? So one of our most favorite fantasy apps to play. And on FanX today, if you download the app, not just today, I'll just stop.
Count, if you could
Very
close the bed down first, because the market could go, and then move on to,
sure. So let's then do bet 365.
yeah,
Um,
the toss is nearing, and then the markets could change.
yeah, so makes sense. So let me log into bet 365 and then share my screen. Here we are.
Yeah.
So, so what's the betting call for today?
We are going for total match runs because of what we have discussed. This is a high scoring ground, and Sydney Thunder do not have an away option. Also, Sydney Thunder away spin option to counter Melbourne Stars batting unit, and Sydney Thunder themselves are a deeper batting unit with a lot of impact batters. So we are trying to land total match runs over 314.5.
So that's an average of 157 runs per team,
Yeah.
and with the 171 runs that's been predicted, the
Mm.
combined total should easily cross 314.
Yeah.
So let me check where exactly. Yeah, here it is. No, I got it wrong. Um, 100 to be scored in the match. Most match sixers, highest individual score, highest match. Where will that go? I'm just trying to find where that betting option is. I think I just saw it before we actually started streaming, and suddenly I'm not able to find it. Yeah, here it is. I think match, top match batter, top match bowler, highest opening partnership, team to make the highest first 6 over score to go to the super over, runs at the fall of first wicket method, match, a first wicket method, the second way, okay, most match force, highest individual score, most runs in a single over. Suddenly, that betting option has disappeared.
I think it's gone. Maybe we are late. So
So, is that something they remove like this before the game starts? Interesting. Okay, so let me go to the main. And then let's see if I see the option here. Top team batters, top team bowlers. Yeah, I think it's gone. That's not good. We didn't expect that to happen. All right. So let's see if it's onto the team top partnership. It's not under the team. It should be under the match, and I saw it earlier. Seems to have disappeared. Okay. I think we lost Al for some time. Looks like he had a power issue. He should be coming back anytime now. In the meantime, I'll continue to search where that betting option went. Still not able to find it. I think Al is back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that betting option is gone. Al have kind of gone through it a
It's fine. Yeah.
few
Our
times. Hard
subscribers
luck.
have gone. Our subscribers have gone all in. So it's good for us.
Of subscribers are?
Our subscribers have gone all in. So they've landed there.
Yeah, looks like that. And do they remove a betting option once they have a kind of a minimum number of fill, maximum
They
number of
do
fill for
sometimes,
a
but
betting
this
option?
is mostly, I think, this is seen as a 1 hour thing. Some of the markets are removed 1 hour ahead of the start, so this could be one of them.
All right. I think from tomorrow maybe I'll the betting option you give me, I'll select it as soon as I get it from you, and then maybe we
Mm.
can walk through which option
Yeah,
we chose during the show.
mm. Sure.
All right. So why don't we now go to FanX?
Yeah,
So what I was talking about FanX is that if you download the app, everybody is given 500 coins,
interesting.
and
Mm.
yeah, it doesn't require any cash to play. So for a
Mm.
rookie like me, amateur like me,
Mm.
to kind of get into this, it's
Yeah,
very interesting. It's very easy,
yeah.
very user friendly.
Mm.
So just download the app, get those 500 coins, and then once you get the coins, you come to the lobby. Here you
Mm.
see the today's match between Sydney Thunders and Melbourne Stars,
Sure.
and it just costs you 50 coins to play,
Mm.
and the winner takes it all. So
Mm.
if you are the winner, then you get 2,500 rupees. So which is a
Mm.
really cool thing to do without any money exposure, and just play for fun, and
Mm.
you could be in a chance of winning 2,500 rupees.
Yeah, as a
So
customer, when I look for platforms, I would love that. I mean, this is a platform that cares about its customers. It's giving them something to play. instead of expecting something from them right away.
Very true. And and while creating this contest, I chose catches and runs and wickets.
Okay.
So probably Trent Bolt operating, there would be good chances of caught behind.
Mm.
Should we choose the wicketkeeper batsman?
Yeah, obviously it should be the keeper. Catcher should be the keeper. Who do we have as
Joe
options
Clark?
for it? Joe Clark. Joe Clark. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe
So we
Clark and
chose Joe
Jilks are the
Clark.
options. Have you shared your screen because I cannot see it?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I not shared my screen. Is my screen visible now?
Yeah, it's now on. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So as I was saying, you already picked Joe Clark. So you
Mm.
just download the app and get 500 coins. Go to the lobby, uh, choose the game, today's game between Sydney Thunders and Melbourne Stars.
Mm.
You just play with 50 coins out of your 500 coins, and if you are the winner takes it all. It's 2,500 rupees of cash. So
Mm.
we already chose our player for the catches, Joe Clark, who is wicketkeeper batsman, and
Mm.
maximum number of runs scored. Whom should we choose? What's your suggestion?
I think maximum number of runs scored should be between Clark and Stoinis, because if Melbourne starts bat second, I think this is a game where the toss could give us a lot of options, could cut down on a lot of options rather. We could wait for toss, but maybe we can start with Stoinis, Clark, and Zampa. If Melbourne starts bowl second, maybe we could bring in Bolt.
Sounds like a plan. So, and then wickets, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Zampa for now.
Yeah,
So that's it. I think I've joined the contest. So just to show you how it works, because it's the first time I didn't share my screen. So you choose the wicket keeper. When you choose the player for the number of catches, you choose Joe Clark, and it's very easy. You click next. You go to the next screen, and you pick the batsman. You have all the options here. Scroll down. Marcus Stoinis is the last option. So you choose that, and then Adam Zampa as the bowler who will take the maximum number of wickets. That's it. I've joined the contest successfully, and I'm in. So it's so easy to play on FanX. Unlike other fantasy apps where you need to pick 11 players,
yeah.
differential, captain, vice captain. It's really for the pundits, not for the rookies.
And also
And
takes a
wherein
lot of
FanX,
time out of you to select five different combinations of 11 players and five different captaincy and vice captains. Here, all you need to do is pick three players. It's like once you have done with your research for a match, it's a natural progression. Fanex, for example, if I'm going to play on 10 different platforms, Fanex is always going to be one of them because of how easy it is.
yeah, it's a phenomenal app. Now, since we're done with FanX, I'm going to Dream 11. Maybe we can select the base team and then make some changes once the toss is
Mm,
done, so
mm,
that it does not happen like what happened to me for the India Netherlands game, where I ran out of time. So you said you're going to go batting heavy,
mm,
uh, given that it's a batsman's paradise at Manuka Oval,
mm.
short
Lot of
square
our
boundaries.
batting, yeah, lot of our batting options are in the all-rounder section, though. Sure shot bowling or batting options. Yeah,
So there's definitely with Stoinis,
yeah.
all right. And how about
Sam's.
Daniel Sams?
I hope the Glenn Maxwell ownership percentage has come down because the last time I checked, it was something like 75%, which is crazy for an injured player.
That's crazy. So
And
who are the
this is where we are using two differentials to. I mean, the general policy that I have is when you could get three differentials in your base team, that's your mega league, and that's your small league day. That's the day that you'll have to join small leagues. A lot of small leagues. Here we are getting two in the all-rounder sections. Jason Sangha and B Webster. I think they are about under 30% or something around that.
So we have chosen four all-rounders. That's the maximum of all-rounders it allows you
Mm,
to choose.
mm,
Now let's pick the bowlers. So
mm.
definitely Zampa
Of course, yeah. Trent Bolt.
bowl
And we could
and
start with Fazalak Faruqi for now, and maybe depending on the task, we could maybe bring someone else in. But Faruqi, for example, if he bowls second, that's going to create a lot of problems for Melbourne Stars batters.
sure. So let's pick up Joe Clark as a wicketkeeper
Yeah,
batsman.
mm,
That leads us to pick another three players out of batsmen.
which is our
So
first
Riley
option.
Russell,
Riley Russell is a no-brainer. Yeah, we'll most likely be adding Hales and Cartwright as our last two picks. But that's something we've left it to our users because daily fantasy is something that can only be cracked through multiple combinations, and we also need the toss to close our team. But the likely
yeah.
options, the favorite options, are Cartwright and Alex Sales. Obviously, even though he's not in form, he's a player that most teams are going to have. So you do not want to risk leaving him out.
So Cartwright and Alex Hales. That completes our 11. But we want to wait on this till the toss is done so that if you have to
Mm,
make any last minute changes that we can do that. Uh,
VBLS.
and what's the status at Manuka Oval? How far are we from toss?
I think we are 8 minutes away from toss.
Okay, interesting.
It says that Stars batters Marcus Stoinis and Joe Burns are recovering from a COVID-19 infection, but they are available for selection apparently.
Interesting. That's what happened to Adam Zampa as well during the World Cup.
Yeah.
He said he could be available for selection, but he did not play that game, if I remember it right.
Mm. I think it is going to be one of those situations where you can be part of the 11, but you cannot celebrate. You'll have to celebrate alone or something. Where you cannot.
That's funny. Great. So let's wait for the toss. In the meantime, I'm just gonna go back and hide my screen for now and bring it up once the toss is done. In the meantime, I'm gonna check one more time on Bet365 if that betting option is back, which is unlikely.
Our usual time is actually perfect, 10 a.m. IST,
Yeah,
but we
probably
cannot
we
do
should
daily
do that
fantasy. Yeah.
for betting, and then one
Mm,
hour before the 45 minutes before the game, we should do the fantasy.
mm.
So, uh, yeah, so it's gone. The total match runs, it's back.
It's
They
back?
have changed the
Wow.
odds. Yeah, it's back. So from you said what 157 plus 157 was 314.
Yeah. What is it,
Yeah,
320
they
now?
dropped. Yeah, they dropped to 311.
Ah, interesting. It's even
So
better.
let's do let's do that. Glad that I checked it. So let me bring it up on my screen. Yeah, here it is. Total match runs over 311 runs, 311 and a half runs.
Okay.
So let's select that. So if you place a wager of 30 and if they score
Hmm.
over 311 runs, I will make $55. Shall I go ahead and place the bet?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and do that. This is our third bet. and with the lady luck smile on us. But I think this is a no-brainer. The first team batting first scores 170 yard,
Hmm.
and if that is Melbourne Stars batting first,
Hmm.
and if Sydney were to chase, and if Bolt were to take his wickets and Zampa were to take his wickets, and if they were to fall even for 30, 40 runs short,
Hmm.
still it will be over 311 runs.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a simple one. Although these betting markets, we should always be careful because they are as good as good as the best of us. So if they are having it low, they might have some kind of an inside information on the nature of the decks, etc. Which is why we have rated this bet as medium, even though it's an easy one in general. If you have more information on, for example, if Manuka all had hosted a couple of matches in the season already, and we have seen the nature of the decks, we would have gone easy, and we have gone 10% of our bankroll. We have still kept it down for 3%, and we have rated this bet as difficulty level as medium because we do not want to underestimate the betting markets and those who create it.
Yeah, the whole trick of the trade is managing a bankroll, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit more about the strategy. How should one approach a bankroll? Manage it during a long season like this. In
Yeah.
terms of, let's say I make the $55
Hmm.
by betting $30.
Hmm.
What should I do with you know the $25 I earned? Should I go back and bet that in a betting call tomorrow, or should I kind of book that as a profit? What is the overall strategy there?
Basically, you could start from as low as $100, $2,000, to a maximum of $1,000. It's not a problem. I mean, it depends on how much you can afford and how much. What's the money that you won't mind losing? That's the basic concept that most use to judge on a bankroll. So have a bankroll, but have three different types of segments. It could be 3% is the most common one. That, for example, we have used for all our three bets. We have used 3% of our bankroll, and there is a 10% where we are a bit more confident and more factors involved in our side of things. For example, when a team is involved, we are more likely to go with 10%. When an individual is involved, we are more likely to go with 3% because an individual is still one person, so there are not a lot of factors that are working in your favor. It's one player. But when a team, there are 11 players working in your favor to land the bet on your side. So that's when we'll go for 10%. And there are times when the market makes a mistake. It misreads the game. For example, earlier this year, when we were working with a different employer, we had this thing called West Indies is Bangladesh Test match. West Indies were given an odds of 1.8 to win a home Test match against Bangladesh, a side that has hardly won away from home. And we use that. That's the time that we'll have to go in with the 30% of your bankroll. For example, you'll know that this is the time that the market has misread the thing. And if you think there are a lot of factors that are working in your favor, you could go as high as 30%. I think I've lost you. We'll try and get count back. Let's check out the toss maybe. Olivia Davis. What has he comment for? Jason Sangha. Oh, instead of cutting, Olivia Davis is playing. I mean, it weakens Sydney Thunder, if anything. Maybe that's why the market has gone down to 311.5. And what else is surprise? Gurinder Sangha Fazal. Nathan McAndrew is not playing. Brendan Doggett is playing. Interesting. Tom Rogers is opening. Wow. So B. Webster isn't playing. B. Webster is playing. Burns isn't playing. Interesting. Who isn't playing? Joe Clark. Oh, they've gone in with seven batters. There is batting depth, in fact. Who is the bowler who isn't playing? Brody Couch. Interesting. Maybe Stars are aware of their batting depth issue, but this is not the game that they should have tried batting depth. They have enough in their 11. The reason that I'm more concerned is because I have Brody Couch in a few of my season fantasy teams. This is a disaster for that. What else is surprise? Cutting is done. Nathan McAndrew is off. Count is recording an audio. I think he says he'll be back in a few minutes. It's not surprise. I mean, Tom Rogers opening is something they do get a left hand partner to Joe Clark. That's one thing. It is something left hand option. It's not something they have in their entire lineup. Maybe that forced an inclusion. For Thunder, Riley Rosa is placed at number 3, which could mean Jason Sangha could come in at number 4. Who's batting first anyway? Thunder chose to field. Okay, so we'll be having Bolt bowling second. That's a gutsy move from Thunder to be prepared to face Bolt. Looks like Count isn't coming back. Should I leave? Maybe we'll leave. Try if he comes back, we'll start a new stream or something. Okay, bye. Thank you for joining.